Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, I'm going to be doing basically a small mini-series on War Z. It's going to be maybe 3 to 5 episodes. That's kind of the target goal here. And the goal is basically to just highlight as much of the game as I can in that 3 to 5 episode timeline. And at the end, kind of give my opinion overall. I have played a small amount of the game so far. This is wrong. I have not played this character for 16 hours. I maybe played him for 20 before he died. In 6 hours, not even close. Maybe 3 or 4. So we're going to be playing, we're going to jump in, we're basically going to start from scratch, and we're just going to kind of play the game all together, and just kind of see what this game truly is about. Is it comparable to DayZ in the fact that, is it as developed as DayZ, is it underdeveloped, more developed rather, and again, give my kind of overall opinion on it once the mini-series is over. So, welcome to episode 1. We've already made my character. It's going to be the YT Mathis for YouTube, and we're going to jump right on in. We're going to pick a server here with a medium-ish population so I can get some, kind of get some talking without worrying about dying immediately. So let's take a look. We got a 24 out of 40. We'll go 20 out of 40 on US server 18. We're going to join the server, and we'll just jump right in. I'll see you in the game. Alright, we're just about loaded up, and we're going to see what we start with immediately. It's going to be our typical starting gear of a flashlight, a backpack, 1 food, 1 can of soda, and that's about it. And I know exactly where we are, actually, which is surprising, since I haven't been really all over that map too much. I am not going to take my flashlight out, rather. It is dawn-ish. Could be turning to night. It's definitely not dark enough to be full night. I would say it's more coming to dawn. I'm not sure, though. So we're going to take a quick look at our inventory. Hitting the I buttons opens up the inventory. We got a flashlight, a melee slot, a bandage, a can of soda, a granola bar. That is it. We can use the flashlight to melee characters or zombies. Hopefully that won't be necessary this early. So let's see. We are in a construction zone. We should be a little bit north. Oh no, we're south. Oh no, okay, I know where we are. And I am actually going to head north, as the south is all the new stuff, but a lot of the new stuff isn't quite finished, and by that I mean the big city has a bunch of buildings of which you can't enter. So we need to be careful. We don't want to be seen, especially if there's other players here. So we're going to be very, very, very careful not to make too much noise, and hope there are no zombies either. When last time I was here, it didn't seem like zombies actually spawned in this area for some reason. And if that's the case, then we should be okay. There's some good loot here as well. And mostly survival stuff like food and water, so we're going to try and grab everything we can. One feature I'd like them to see them put in is the ability to have your flashlight out, but be able to turn the light off. As of right now, if you have your flashlight out, you cannot, and I repeat, cannot turn it off. So, as much as you may need it for self-defense, it could give you away, which may be the purpose of it. In that case, I kind of can understand it, but I still don't like it, because as far as survival goes, you should be able to have your flashlight out. I mean, it's just common sense. Have your flashlight out, but not have to use it. Alright, so let's be careful. If we die early, we'll just start a new character, obviously. Try to be as quiet as we can. There's a very good chance there could be somebody here. And that would be bad. Alright, looks like we got a melee weapon up here we can grab, which is very good. We're going to get a bat nice and early, so that'll be some self-defense for us. Okay. So we're going to put this in our flashlight spot in the number 2 slot, and we can take it right out. Look at that, we got a melee weapon. Animations are decent for an alpha. Could definitely use some work here. The walking, running, and crouch animations, especially the prone animations, could really use some work, especially when you do that. You're doing the worm. It's pretty hilarious. So let's keep looking around. That note is, by the way, a developer note. It is through across all servers. Whoop. Whoop. We're going to stay friendly. See? Somebody's here. Don't know if they have a flashlight. I'm not going to be a dick. I'm not a griefer. So we're going to grab painkillers here. We are going to keep our backs turned. Looks like she is going to make her way out. So we got a medkit and some painkillers. So she might have scavenged most of everything useful in here. So for that, we'll probably bounce out of here. I'm not going to take her out. I'm going to try and play the good guy here, see how far that gets us, because this game has a very notorious player base already, and a lot of that is because the zombies pose very little threat, as they do in DayZ. And in DayZ, as of right now, well, when I played, rather, it might not be the case right now, but when I played, the threat was other players. In this game, so much so because the maps are much, much smaller than basically anything else. Than any other map out there. So, like, as far as DayZ is concerned, or other zombie survival games, which there aren't that many, honestly. But because of that, it's basically a shit show here when you run across other players. If she was armed, I guarantee you I probably would have died. But because she was not, I'm not going to push her, and I'm going to try and be the nice guy. It'll probably, like I said, end up getting me killed in the long run. Once I get a gun, things might end up changing, but we'll see. For now, I'm going to be a nice guy. I'll look around and hope I come across some of the stuff. So again, your typical stuff that you do in any zombie survival game, like your Project Zomboid or DayZ, your first few minutes and hours are spent scavenging anything useful you can get your hands on. And it looks like nothing's going to come out over here, so we could probably get out. I'm going to keep first person. My heart did jump a beat when I saw that person, by the way. Now we'll check this building over here. Alright, so, pretty fruitless, unfortunately. What do we get? We'll check our backpack real quick. A med kit and painkillers. Now, the med kit is obviously invaluable because it can fill us to full health if we need it. But right now, I think my primary concern is food and water. So, we'll pop up in the map. We'll see where we are. We're gonna head north in this general direction, near Daggers Hill, and head up into the campus city. We'll try and check out the city. Maybe not this episode, but in a future episode. Maybe we'll head for the safe zone. That's where we're going to go first. The safe zone. And what do we get here? Bandages DX. Which I'm assuming is just much better. Moderate wounds, because these are minor wounds. Very effective, yeah, so. Alright, so that's actually decent that we found some decent bandages. So we're going to try and be careful and head out into the wilderness. Wilderness is relatively safe, no wild animals or anything yet. And actually, it looks like up ahead there's going to be a small little shanty town, which that will bring up some zombies. So what we're going to do is approach it from a far angle and scope it out from a distance, and then decide whether or not it's worth it to go in, because if we can even get one piece of food and one bottle of water, as long as the raiding trip doesn't take long, it should be okay. Gonna make sure we're not being followed. Again, you know, I let her go and she seemed friendly enough. Don't want to risk it. So we'll approach. Now, zombies aren't a huge threat as of the recent patch, because people cried about damage. Okay, see that flashlight over there? Somebody's down there. And it says, look, see how it's like flickering like crazy? It means they're fighting zombies. And now it's not, so they have stopped. So we'll definitely drop down prone real quick. And we will crawl. Let's see if we can follow them right now. They're probably going to head into the store. Now the question is, if it's a player... Whoa! That player could be dying or dead in a minute. Where'd that gunshot come from? Somebody could be watching his back as well. So there's 3, wow, for a medium population server we've already come across potentially 3 players. The question is, where did that come from? That was a sniper rifle shot. Alright. Let's see if we can get into these houses and maybe grab some stuff. We're going to avoid the town. Yeah, it is sunrise, by the way. The birds chirping and whatnot. We got some oatmeal, can of soda, and a large backpack. What? Really? How are we looking? What I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to drop this, drop the painkillers, pick up the large backpack, pop up my inventory, go to change backpack, and you can click change, and it automatically transfers everything over there. And then we are going to drop the small backpack and pick the painkillers back up. So now we have a backpack. Now, what does this do for us? Obviously, lots of inventory space. More importantly, it means we're a target if anybody sees us. So the goal is going to try and status sight. That's going to be the goal. Chem light. Useful for maybe distracting somebody, trying to draw their attention somewhere in particular. But we're going to get out of here. We'll try and stay on the outskirts. I feel a little nervous being where we are right now, just because there are definitely players around. Ooh, that's a special Halloween zombie. The pumpkin zombie. We got an RV over there. Okay, I'm happy with the large backpack. Definitely happy with it. Whoa! Who are they shooting at? So that player is still around, obviously. We need to be very careful. Maybe even debate just leaving this place. We got something to eat. We didn't get anything to drink, but... at the very least, we definitely came out on top with the backpack. This guy is not having any issue spending his ammo. Check out the barn and then get out of here, I think. Guns are not attracting zombies like I think they should be. Can we go under the fence? Good. No, we cannot. Oh. Good enough for me. Whew. Okay. Oof. That was tense just because I don't know where the gunshots were coming from. If we find the guy, it can sneak up on him. I mean, if he's shooting at the player in the city, I have no problems taking him out. Well, at the very least we know he's around, so it makes, just judgment calling, it just makes going in there is a very, very bad idea. Daylight's on the way. We do need to head out and around, but we're going to try and take the long way. Now, for those wondering how realistic are the guns in this game, they're not. They're not like DayZ realistic. They're more like COD realistic, and by that I mean they're not realistic at all. The bullet will go where you aim. Oh, shit. Go behind this tree. This must be the guy with the gun. Yeah, it's the guy with the gun. He's got a gun out. Looks like he's fighting some zombies, using his melee weapon. That's fine. That's our cue to get the hell out. He probably killed that other player, that's my guess. But that's okay. I can't save everybody. So, looks like we're going to go up towards this road towards Mountain Crest and try to get to Goblin Peak Settlement through Devil's Pass. If that's the case, we can get there pretty safely. Now, as always, rule of thumb, don't stay on the roads. That is a player. I need to get by him. I could chance talking to him. Is he AFK? Is it a zombie? I don't see a backpack on him. But I feel like he's moving around like a player, like the idle animation. Oh, zombie. So we're gonna do some melee combat here. See, as you can see, zombies are kind of pushovers, as long as you're super, super careful about it. And now we're going to head across. When they're in bigger packs, obviously. I mean, that makes sense. Lone zombies, pretty simple. Packs of zombies I've always had trouble with so far playing the game, so... We are going to cross the road here, something I don't like doing. Going to head up the hill. Food and water looks pretty decent right now. Bottom left for those who don't know or didn't watch my first impressions video. And we'll swing up this way. And we could check. Mountain Crest is where we're going to be going through, it looks like. So far we're doing okay. Couple of run-ins with some players, surprisingly, on a lower population server. You know, I would think a lot of players in the new zones, but a lot of people could be thinking that as well and came back to loot the older zones. That's my character. Because I'm running a lot. I'm running out of stamina. For a second I didn't know what that breathing was, but then I remembered. I'm running out of stamina, so I am starting to breathe heavily. So it looks like we're just going to go through here. If I can get to the safe zone with this heavy backpack, I might switch to a small backpack with my older characters, just to keep this one safe and keep for my bigger playthrough guy. The one I play with one of my friends as well. If you guys have this game, by the way, let me know. I would love to play with viewers, even stream it with viewers. That would be cool. We'll see. So Mountain Crest is coming up. I'm going to let my stamina recharge. And I would love some binoculars right now, I think. That's not a... That's a bush. So fall damage in this game, by the way, is very, very high. So don't go jumping off cliffs. It ain't gonna save you. I gotta be careful. I gotta find a better way down. What's that? Those look like zombies. And it looks like it's actual little outpost, so we might be able to go check that out. Okay. Hup. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Can we... Looks like it's just a shack. Still potential, like a little playground park shack thing. This is ambient noises. Can we... Oh, no, no, I did not mean to do that. So we'll use our bandages here. Heal up most of the way. Stop whatever bleeding was happening. And we'll move in. We want to be careful. There's a lot of zombies here. More than I'd like to take on, at the very least. I definitely would have to run if I aggroed more than one. Zombie noises are pretty great. They're not the best, but they're pretty good. I like them a lot. It's like a chem flare. Bunch of flares. Looks like he's coming this way, so I'm gonna get out of here. Oh! Time to go. Just run. Wasn't necessarily worth it for flares. I think I've got 3 behind me. But luckily we can't outrun them. Okay, they're still coming. Still? No. Alright. Across the road and through the forest. Got some flares. Nothing good, unfortunately. Nothing good at all. Running across the road. Okay. Pretty safe. We might not get to Goblin Settlement in this video. There we go. Pretty safe there. Like it. I like it. So, I'll give some thoughts on the game thus far, since we are kind of running, and don't want to keep you guys too bored just watching me run. Now, I like a lot about it. I also have some gripes with it. Now, one of the main things I have right now is that, as I said earlier, zombies, once you have a gun, kind of become a non-issue. And I say that because they're not all that attracted to gunfire. Their AI, as far as like gunfire is concerned, is pretty piss poor. Again, alpha, I understand that. It'll probably be addressed. But once you have a gun, feel free to just shoot pretty much anything within a decent distance and you won't be heard. That guy with the sniper rifle, in my opinion, the way zombies should work, and the way they always should work, is if they hear a noise that's, you know, distinct enough that it would grab pretty much everybody's attention, they should just start wandering towards it immediately. Not necessarily running or like going in an attacking formation or know where the player is, but once they hear that noise, they should begin to wander in that general vicinity. Now, when they find the player, if they find the player, then they can engage in the attack animations, the attack speed. But until then, have them wander, have them be more active. The problem I have with DayZ and the problem I have with this game is that you'll never see a zombie in the forest. The only time you'll ever see a zombie in the forest is somebody aggroed them from a town and ran into the forest and lost them in the forest. That's the only time you'll see them there. Now, I would like to see, I'm not saying looking for like monstrous amounts of zombies in the forest at all times, but like, you know, scattered, one here and maybe two there, you know, that kind of thing, while maintaining the bulk of them being in a city or, you know, whatnot. I heard something. I think it's just my paranoia kicking in. Now, one thing I want all games to have, all zombie survival games to have like this, is a zombie horde. Even if it's just one friggin' horde. I want a horde wandering the map at all given times. Who knows where they are, who knows where they could be. If the map's big enough, let two hordes wander around. But let them wander actively. And if they wander into an area, say there's 5 players in the city, or maybe even 7 or 8 or 9, hell, 10 players. It's like a 5-on-5 brawling match going on, right? And they're like fighting over supplies, they're gunning each other down. All of a sudden, you know, they turn, and around the corner, picture this. You know, they're all gun blazing. Someone turns real quick, just kind of scope the surroundings as they're fighting, and they see zombies rounding the corner from a big building. Not 1, not 2, not even 10. Like 30 zombies are just wandering around the corner. What would have to happen? Well, the players would have to either A, continue fighting and just risk dying, maybe 1 or 2 make it out alive, or make an immediate truce right then and there to get away alive with everything they have. And then the fighting can resume, or then they can make peace. But I think I see a flashlight. Yeah, I do. But then peace can happen. And when peace happens, or when that kind of thing happens, that's just, you know, that emergent story that I love, that the potential these games have is what I'm looking forward to. And I want to see that. I do. I want to see that so bad. And right now, none of these games have it. Project Zomboid has Roaming Horde. That is what Project Zomboid has that these games don't. But the multiplayer emergent stories that can come of just having a horde roaming around or 2 hordes roaming around at any given time. You know, those 5 players or 10 players would have to either A, team up if they have the ammo to take the horde on, or run for their lives. And then what? You know, bring in like broken limbs and stuff like they do in DayZ, and like, you know, what do? You're running from a horde, shoot somebody in the leg. Someone shoots someone in the leg. You deal with it later, you know? You deal with it later, and you move on from that particular spot. It's just one of those things. Now, I'm kind of wandering a little bit because there is a town here, and I want to get a good look at it. Because I saw a flashlight. The flashlight was over in the back towards that red building. Nah, he's over there right now. That building right there is where I want to go. Because that's the market. But there's a player and he has a shotgun, so... He's going that way though, so... I'm gonna try for it. I am going to give it the good old Mathis shot. The good old Mathis try. Is that a player? He's going after. He's walking fast, so that means he's going after a player. So keep that. Maybe the market's not safe. I'm not well enough equipped to deal with players yet. I'm not. Where are we? Let's check our inventory real quick. Oatmeal. We have a soda, so when we start blinking red, which will be very, very soon, we can drink the soda. Oh. Yeah, I'm invisible. Yeah, he's coming to me, I think. He's got a hammer. We're gonna go and hope he doesn't follow. Keep our hammer away. Run. We are bad. Let's get out of here. Nope, he's gonna come for the kill. He's coming for it. Yep, he's gonna try and kill me. Alright, he's leaving. Doesn't mean he's actually leaving, but... And that is another gripe I have with the game right now. Now, DayZ was notorious for having a god-awful player base. They were very, very aggressive and very, very violent. But because the map was so big and, you know, zombies could be, you know, were a threat because if they were basically like flash zombies, they could just sprint at you. The amount of aggression didn't come as nearly as bad as it does in this game. The player base and the community in this game is actually shit. And it pains me to say that, but the community is garbage. They're just aggressive, you know, basically just wants to kill people. I mean, if you've been reading the chat, basically, they're just gigantic dicks everywhere. And that's all there is to it. Like, the community is complete garbage. And, you know, right now the game is in a kind of a crap state as far as the community goes. It's just, it's gonna be difficult for people. It's gonna be difficult for people to want to get into this kind of game because the community is complete garbage. And look at this guy Shepin right here. He's just part of the problem. Like, he's just one of those people they just don't want to deal with that make this community tough. But moving on from that, as I continually check behind me for the guy with the hammer. Alright, so... yeah. The community needs some work. Alright, so... Goblin's Peak is coming up. That means we're going to be closing out this session of gaming soon. I'm going to eat that granola bar because my hunger did decide that it wanted to kick up a little bit. And we're going to back up here. And move on. So, I forget what I was talking about because I got distracted with the players kind of trying to kill me. So, the game needs work. It is in a very early state. Roaming hordes, remember I was talking about. And I just would love to see that kind of realism, not realism because zombies aren't real, but that type of attention to detail in this kind of game. If it did, so we'll move on here and kind of finish up. Now, does this game have potential? I think so. I think it has more potential than DayZ right now. Until we see the DayZ standalone in some sort of playable state, it's hard to compare it because this is definitely way better than the mod. it's a lot more different than the mod as well, because the mod is a much more realistic simulation, while this is, as I've heard people say, and I wholly agree, is a more arcadey version. And I say arcadey in the most loving manner, because it is. It's very, very, very arcadey. It is. It's very, very, very arcadey. The guns aren't as realistic. Surviving is still pretty good. I like the survival aspect of the game. The bleeding, the need to eat and drink. You know, they brought over the necessary things. If you, one of the things you should know is if you have a gun with multiple rounds or clips, and you fire off 3 bullets, say 3 out of 6, and you want to reload. If you reload, those extra 3 rounds are going to hit the ground. They are not going to be used. So in that respect, it's actually a tad bit more realistic than DayZ, I guess. It makes you think, and I like that because it makes you think, do I want to burn this last round? Do I want to use it? Do I want to make sure I save it for a later time? If I do save this last round and I end up using it and I have, I'm surrounded by zombies, do I have the time to reload? Is it worth keeping this 1 bullet? And those kinds of questions could, again, bring up some very interesting emergent stories. And I will continue looking over my back until I know I'm safe. So we'll see. We'll see. Now I'm gonna get out of here. This guy literally just put me on edge completely. I feel like he could be anywhere. Goblins. Almost there, man. We can get there. I know we can. I have utter faith in my own abilities. I'm getting hungry again, so that means another granola bar. What'll be good is when I get back, if I get to the safe zone, I'm going to have access to my global inventory next time I play, so I'm going to give myself some food and whatnot. Oh, this community is crap. They're so bad. Alright, so it should be up here. I don't know if there's a way up over here. We're going to check. The one thing I worry about safe zones, and I'm sure it'll hold true, is player killers, like big-time player killers who just grief people. Playing killing's not a big deal, I don't mind. I mean, that guy was just trying to kill me for potential things I had. But the potential for just people to camp outside of safe zones and just kill people as they come in is a terrifying prospect. It absolutely is scary to think that that could potentially happen, because it could. It could absolutely 100% potentially happen. If it does, then scary. That's something why I think safe zones, though a good idea, are something that I think need to either be taken away or changed. Something like, you can, instead of having a safe zone, you go into a safe mode. And safe mode takes, 30 seconds to enter. But once you're in safe mode, you cannot attack, you cannot be attacked. You can only trade with other people in safe mode. You can't hold your weapons. You can drop items and pick items up, but you can't really do anything. If you move a certain distance, then you're immediately taken out of safe mode. Stuff like that. Just try to limit how it works. And because safe zones are potentially extremely dangerous for the potential griefing aspects of being people waiting outside of safe zones just to kill people. And that kind of worries me. Just a little bit. And we're in a safe zone, so perfect. So we are in Goblin's Peak. Goblin's Peak being a safe zone. I don't think I've ever been to this one before. I've definitely been to Blue Ridge Settlement and the new one that was released, which is down south. But Goblin's Peak, can't zoom in Goblin's Peak, but we are here. And this is a safe place to log off, so I think I will quit. Yes, I will. And that'll be my first look at the first episode of this small miniseries of me playing some War Z, because I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the tense feeling that you get. Especially being a loner is so scary. And I know I'll definitely be doing some videos with other people, just to highlight the multiplayer aspect of the game and whatnot. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed playing, and I shall see you next time.